we're ready to go. Should be ready to go here shortly. We are going to be live over on Instagram. We are live on Facebook. Go live. Let's go, let's go. All right, guys. Let's do it. All right, guys. Hope everyone's having a great day today. Guys, my name is Evan Mendoza. I played 7 years of professional baseball between the St. Louis Cardinals and San Diego Padres, and I'm going to help you out with the college recruiting process. Guys, if there is anybody that wants a specific breakdown, give me some numbers. This is going to be where I help grade you with where you're currently at. Cam, if you want to go ahead and give me your graduation year, exit velocity, arm velo, 60-yard time, so that way I can have an understanding of where you're at and definitely where your focus needs to be. One thing I want to quickly do before we get into Sam and your numbers, guys, I want to talk about kind of like the pyramid of basically college baseball recruiting, because this is something that I think is really, really annoying. Jonas, happy New Year to you as well. So up here we have the 1%ers, right? Right here we might have, let me just make sure this looks good as well. Okay, you can kind of see it. I'll zoom out just a little bit. It might look a little bit funny, but yeah, guys, I'll do this to make it easy. All right, I'm just making it so you can see everything. Okay, cool. So up here we have the 1%ers, right? Then we have right here like the above average. Right here we have the average players, and then this is everyone. Right? And in college recruiting, in basically the recruiting process, this is what I want you guys to all realize, is that 1% isn't by accident. We have so many people right here. We have so many of you guys that want to play college baseball, want to, get recruited, want to play at LSU. There's so many of you guys right here. There's so many players, and this is where everyone typically is, right? Where we want to not necessarily be is those average players that do a little bit extra hard work, right? They might go to the gym extra on their own every once in a while. They might not necessarily be on the most structured program. Like, these are all the things that will ultimately happen if you put yourself out there and you just do a little bit extra of that hard work, right? So this is obviously really, really important, making sure that you guys have that understanding that it doesn't come down with the rain. You have to put in that work, and ultimately with that work, that's where you'll be able to start seeing basically the growth, right? It's not going to come down by accident. But let me get this just all situated real quick. All right, that should be good now. But yeah, the above average, these are people that want to put in that extra work beyond team practices, and there's really not few. This is the ones that will get like a D3 scholarship, maybe a D2 scholarship, and of course, where we want to ultimately always be is that 1%, where we're doing above and beyond, we're getting that extra work in, we're doing so much more, because that's what it's going to take to play at the next level. So let's go one by one. Isaiah, thanks for joining in again. Yeah, let's go through a couple of player breakdowns. This is the way that I like to always do it, just to make it as easy as possible. I'm going to go ahead and keep this layer activated, and then just do new layers every single time. So it looks like Caden, we have a 2028. We have a first baseman, and 5'10", 165. That's great. Caden, I think that's Caden, right? I'm not sure. K-Dog, Meredith, I need a little bit more data from you, right? Like exit velocity, arm velocity, 60 time. These are the things that help me understand where you're currently at and what you might need to be working on. So if you're still in here, K-Dog, Meredith, go ahead and give me some of these numbers, these metrics, and I'll be able to help break you down. Also, if there's any players or parents that, based off of these numbers, I'll be able to kind of guide where your son's currently at, let me know, because this is what I do for lives. I want to make sure that you guys get the best understanding of where you're currently at, where you're trying to go, and how I could possibly help, especially when we're talking about just basic black and white numbers like your metrics. These are metrics. What we don't want to be giving is things like average or ERA, or how many strikeouts or errors, right? These are things that don't really matter in the whole grand scheme of things. These are the things that college coaches will be evaluating players on. So if you know any of your exit velocity, arm velocity, 60-yard dash time, and if you are a high school baseball player and you want to share where you're currently at, I think K-Dog probably decided to hop off, but if there's any other high school baseball players out there that want your information to be broken down, feel free to go ahead and comment right now. I am doing these lives a lot more frequently because, number one, I enjoy them. I enjoy helping you guys out. It's actually a lot of fun. And I'm getting really used to using this iPad as a demonstration and making sure that you guys just get the best, advice out there. I'm not saying that I have all the answers, but if I can give you just a small glimpse of clarity on what you need to be doing to ultimately get better and to be able to maybe break through a plateau, that's exactly what I want to be helping you guys out with here today. So if you guys have any baseball related questions, feel free to ask them right now. I am checking the chat over on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And yeah, guys, drank my coffee already. We got 27. Okay, Luis, you're up next. 2027. Luis, Eggs Velo. What we got? What we got? Yeah, I've been sipping on a Cuban coffee lately, guys. It's been getting me going, to say the least, in the mornings. Yeah, Luis 745 Perez. Yeah, let me know. One thing that I'm kind of curious on, if you guys would see it being enjoyable by any means. One thing that I like to do is sometimes do dialing. I'll reach out to parents who have opted into an ad or have downloaded a freebie, like our 7 steps on how to reach out to college coaches. All right, cool. Let's do this right now. So pop time, we got he's a catcher. I would want to know catcher, what his pop time is, but 94 EV, 77. I'm curious where that arm velo is getting him as far as his pop time, but we'll get to that in a second. 60 time being a 7.1, that shows that he's a really good athlete. So as a catcher, it's not the most important thing to be fast, but if your 60 time is close to a 7, that's going to help just kind of generalize who your son is to these college coaches. If let's say, for example, your son was his 60 time was like a 9.5, we would kind of assume that he's a little bit oversized. He might not necessarily have the best overall athleticism. So being at a 7.1 60, that's definitely a good area. His exit velocity, that's a good area as well, without a doubt. What I would probably say right now I'm concerned on is his arm and his pop time, because with a 77 arm velo, I would say his pop time's probably around like that 2-second mark, which is nothing super crazy. College coaches are always going to want to see something that's better, if anything. Yeah, what we got? Isaiah Bridge. What we got for Isaiah Bridge? What's going on with Isaiah Bridge? I think we just gotta. Okay, we don't need any spammers, but yeah, what we got for Isaiah Bridge? What's going on with that? Jay Taves. I don't know who that is. But yeah, guys, if you want your information to be broken down, just go ahead and comment where you're at, where you're going. Also, who was this? This was Luis Perez. Yeah, 1.9 to 2.2. So, yeah, so 1.9 to 2.2. So I would probably say on average he's somewhere around like the 2.0 to 2.1, right? And this, in my opinion, as a catcher, it's not going to necessarily mean the most playing time, because there's only one catcher out there on the field for a reason, right? And we want to be as consistent as possible. So like this needs to be a focus, and really this is going to be a byproduct of this, right? Or I guess I should of this, right? So, or not necessarily 60 times, sorry, of this arm velo. If we can get that arm velo up to like an 83 to 86, you would see this number go down to probably like a 1.8 to like a 1.9, right? And this is where college coaches are going to be like, okay, this is actually, someone who's actually solid. What about Isaiah Broridge? What do you mean? Someone just commented Isaiah Bridge. I have no idea what that means. Yeah, no clue in the world. I think we have an Isaiah in here, but yeah, someone just commented a name. I'm not entirely sure what that meant. But yeah, if you guys have any specifics on basically where you're currently at, and one thing I'll go ahead and do just to make it a little bit easier is I'm gonna go ahead and move all of this down, make it a little bit easier for you guys to see everything, and then that way I can just quickly refresh and make a new one. But yeah, give me guys, graduation year, give me your exit velocity, give me your arm velo, comment down below your 60 time. I'll go through kind of like where you're at, what your focus can be on. My two dads are getting a divorce because my dad called my other dad cheating. What do I do? Okay, come on, man. Let's not do that. No need to have comments like that. I'm going to put this user in timeout. Yeah, you're in timeout now. Hey Evan, I meant to say last time when you were evaluating my key stats, I got my 60 down to a 608. Dude, that's insane. That's actually insane. Yeah, a 608's huge, dude. That was a guy that you were talking about. Isaiah, did you like tell a teammate or something like that? Because if you told a teammate, that would be awesome. Because as you can imagine, we're trying to grow this live and make it as awesome as possible for you guys. To be able to get the information that you guys deserve at the end of the day. That's something that obviously I want to be able to give you guys everything that you need to grow and turn into the best player that you can possibly be at the end of the day. And that's why I do these lives. Let's see. All right. Cool. We're gonna make this a little bit, oh no, not too big. All right, we'll move that right there. All right. Yeah, the guy I was talking about, cool. Yeah, J-Tays, I don't know if you're like teammates with Isaiah or whatnot, but did you hit dingers in your prime? So like yes and no. I was more of a contact hitter, to be honest with you guys. I played 7 years of professional baseball though. Being a contact hitter, I only hit a combined 20 home runs in my entire professional baseball career, which is not many, as you can imagine. So yeah, I wasn't a home run hitter. My most in a single season where I played in like 130 games was 8 home runs, which is not very good. But yeah, I was more of a contact guy. My career average, I think, was like around 267 or something like that, 6'7". But yeah, I was more of a on-base type of guy. I had a lot of walks. I worked count. My 2-strike batting average was pretty solid as well. These are all things that I definitely brought to the table for my team that I was on. But I never really hit a lot of home runs. There's one year that I felt like I was hitting a lot more home runs. And it just kind of came down to putting the ball in play and backspinning a lot more. Hey, correct me if I'm wrong, but did you want me to share how I got my 60 time to a 608? I mean, if you want to, dude, feel free to it. I mean, that's awesome, getting your 60 time down to that. I think last time, we spoke like your arm velo and your exit velocity. These are definitely areas that we definitely still need to be focusing on moving forward. But yeah, you can always share. That's what we're doing here on this live. But yeah, guys. Any baseball related questions? If you also have any of your metrics right here, guys, feel free to drop them down below in the chat and I'll break down where you're at and where you're trying to go. And of course, if I can help, just give you that clarity on like what area of maybe these 3 that we need to be focusing on based off of where your son is currently at, where he's trying to go in the college recruiting process, if that's D1, D2, or D3. That's 4, D3. And then that way we can just have like a little bit of a talk on, where that focus needs to be there. And by the way, this is like all on the physical side of things, guys. And it is important to know that like, this is really 1/3 of it. There's really the mental side that needs to be addressed as well. There needs to be also on the recruiting side that needs to be addressed right here and right here. This is just like, the physical development based off of grad year and things like that. But there's really 3 areas that I like to focus on with all my students, and that's why I built out the triple play. For anyone that's listening right now, if you're a parent of a high school baseball player, you feel stuck in the college recruiting process, you don't know what to do as far as gaining a little bit more structure in the gym for your son, you want him to be on a little bit more baseball specific workout program written for baseball players, guys, what you can go ahead and do is in the bio of Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, click the link in my bio. It's going to take you over to my website, Mendoza Baseball Academy. My program is called the Triple Play, and basically we focus on the physical, the mental, and the recruiting, making sure that we help your son play at that next level. So do a little bit of research on us, maybe apply, maybe go ahead and schedule an eligibility review. That eligibility review is going to be where we map out a game plan for your son. It's very, very important in the whole process of everything. I want to make sure that you guys have that understanding about what the college recruiting process is all about. And that's what the triple play is all about. There's tons and tons of testimonials on my website. There's also tons of testimonials on YouTube as well, so go check that out if you haven't already. But should we concentrate getting ready for high school ball and stop doing the travel? Donald, great question. So this is actually where a lot of people will get confused, right? So a lot of people will put so much energy, and I'll go ahead and actually create a new one. So many people will put so much energy into play, and just keep doing this process because this is what you're basically sold on. That's going to help your son get recruited and XYZ, right? But not many people focus on physically developing a good 4, maybe 5 months out of the calendar year to focus on strictly the gym. And Donald, maybe I missed it, but not sure exactly what grade your son is currently in. But yeah, this is definitely an area where we want to have that focus of the gym, probably somewhere around freshman, sophomore year of high school, maybe the fall of junior year. But this is where we need to be focusing a dedicated amount of time with our mental focus on getting after it in the gym. So if your son's in 8th grade, about to be in 9th, that's he's in 8th grade, that makes sense. So this is where ideally in that process of going from 8th grade to 9th grade, focus on these small little areas, the physical development. It's not like we have to be building up crazy muscle or anything like that. But of course, having that focus on a physical development program is huge. And by the way, I do work with 8th graders and up. 8th grade is the cutoff of who I work with. So yeah, Donald, if you and your son are interested in getting a little bit more help, there is more help that I do offer inside my Triple Play mentorship program. Go click the link in my bio, learn a little bit more. You can also DM me the word college to have a quick little conversation to see if we can even help out with where you're currently at. Right. Grades, the most important part of college recruiting, 3.5 or higher. So yes and no. Yes, grades are important. I would say that was a weird G. For grades, I would just say, not necessarily grades, but really GPA. We just want 3.0 or higher. This is what most college coaches will look for because ideally this is when in high school it's just the time of showing that you're able to be responsible enough to get the work done. That's ultimately what it comes down to, is you're getting the work done that you need to in the classroom. So as long as grades are 3.0 or higher as far as GPA, that's where you want to be. Should my son be playing travel ball right now as well as high school baseball on the varsity level? So typically no. I'm going to just quickly erase all this. So typically no. So if your son is currently playing high school baseball and travel, this is where there's going to be times where it feels like you're doing this, right? You're on this side, you're on this side, and this is where you're going to find yourself more or less in this in-between area, right? We don't want that because that's going to make this side of people, and especially the coaches, mad. It's going to make these people mad because you're inconsistent with what they want, right? And at the end of the day, that's where ideally in the spring season, so I'm talking about, obviously it's January 8th. In the spring season, if you're going to do high school only, right? If in the summertime, This is where you can do, travel. And sometimes like there's travel programs intertwined with the high school program. That's okay as well. Ideally, like for example, if like what I was just mentioning a second ago, if you want to focus on development one summer, that's completely okay. Don't play travel. Don't play summer ball with your high school team. You don't have to do those things. You can really focus on the gym if you wanted to, again, for 4 or 5 months. There's nothing that says that you can't do that. And a lot of people don't, and also realize that they're underdeveloped. Maybe they're smaller than the rest of the competition, X, Y, and Z. As far as fall, this is where sometimes your high school program will have somewhat of a program in the fall, and they need to be accommodating for a travel schedule because there are some perfect game events in the fall time that make the most sense to go to. Think about WWBA. These are going to be very high end, like Jupiter tournament, right? This is a great event to go to get seen by all the golf carts from all the scouts, college and at the professional level. As far as winter, there's really not too much baseball, so this is where you should be more in prep, mindset. Ideally in that prep mindset. And this is why also, I want to give you guys a little bit of a clarity also in what we do inside the triple play. So we have a New York Mets strength and conditioning coach. And what we've really done in this is what we've done with all of our students at the high school level. We give workout programs, and inside those workout programs what we've done is doing things by phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. So within phase 1 there's really 1 month, 1 month, and 1 month. And basically, collectively in whole, basically we have 12 months out of the year that we segment out based off of where typically high school baseball players are at in their season. And this is where we really write out those programs specifically for baseball players. We don't want to be doing too much work really in phase 2, which is really the spring season, right? This is more like summer. This is more fall. And phase 1, this is really, preseason. And that's how we kind of think about the whole dynamic of where your son's currently at with the physical development. Like, does your son even have a workout program? Or is he kind of just like winging it? And that's where a lot of players will typically fall a little bit short because they don't have necessarily a structured program. I just had a client case study interview last night where Tyler, Terrell, and Erica Ball, great students, great interview. I'm so excited for that to get posted up on YouTube here shortly. But they talked about just like the professionalism of how structured the program is, not necessarily collectively on the working out side of things, but of course how to reach out to these college coaches. So having that phase 1, which is typically your preseason, having that phase 2, having that phase 3, what to be doing basically in the fall time compared to the springtime, making sure that we're not overextending ourselves. These are all areas that a lot of high school baseball players just unfortunately fall short because they don't have someone to guide them on what to do. They walk into the gym not knowing what to do, and that causes confusion. It causes a lack of confidence. It causes just like that uncertainty if we're doing the right things. And typically what your son is probably doing is a notes app style of workouts, right? Like he's just going to the gym maybe a few times out of the week, maybe 3 or 4 times out of the week. He goes into the gym, does your very basic upper body, lower body split, and he just finds a bunch of workouts that he finds online. He does the workout programs coming from Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and he just writes his own program. And guys, if we think about my playing career, ever since college, and by the way, like, yes, I went D1, I went to NC State. Ever since college, I had a strength and conditioning coach, right, write the program. And that's actually something that I talked to the Ball family last night about. I turned into basically a robot. And that's a good thing. I'm a baseball player at the end of the day, and that's why I have a New York Mets strength coach, because I don't have any experience actually writing these programs out. But I have all the experience in doing the work and executing the work in front of me, right? And that's where I think a lot of high school baseball players don't even know what to do because they spend so much time in thought, right? I'm thinking of what to do rather than just doing the work that is prescribed out to you in a structured program. So this is where, like, think about it. It's kind of like that example of multitasking, right? You can't necessarily be thinking about doing your workout program and executing the actual movements, right? And I think there's an example out there that I wanted to share with you guys real quick, and we can get into some other player reviews. Maybe I'll make some dials as well. But the aspect of trying to count 1, 2, 3, 4 and do A, B, C, D at the same time, right? It's basically multitasking. It's not necessarily taking you a lot of time to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Because that's super easy, but it is hard to do 1A, 2B, 3C, 4D, 5E, right? Like it's starting to take some time because I'm starting to think about it. So this is a prime example of basically multitasking. And again, we can't be, what's going on? What we can't be doing is thinking and working out. And I think a lot of high school baseball players are making this mistake a lot of the times, right? There's so many high school baseball players that just are trying to think about which workout to do, and then you do maybe like a 3/4 workout right here. And think about those players, you know, what you're missing out on that quarter, right? Or, you know, you get the idea. But yeah, guys, if you guys, anybody that's watching in right now that wants me to break down where you're currently at with everything, you can go ahead and comment any of these metrics right now, and I'm going to walk through basically where you're at as far as your graduation year, your exit velocity, your arm velocity, your 60-yard dash time, give you some guidance there. And then that's where I'll be able to kind of prescribe what your focus needs to be, so that way there's a little bit less confusion. I love doing this for everyone, completely for free, by the way, just to be able to build trust, make sure that you guys understand that like I'm a real human being. I have the playing experience to be able to give you some good quality advice, and you definitely don't have to comment anything, but I don't see why you wouldn't, right? I don't see why you wouldn't. But yeah, another thing that I'm really curious about doing, and I don't know how it would go, but I'm pretty sure that there would be a way that I'm able to make some dials. Just because I've always wanted to do a Mendy hotline. I think that would be really cool where people call in. If there's anybody that's listening right now that would be valuable for, that would be awesome. I'm not saying that every single player or parent would want to do that, but I think that would create a really cool dynamic. The one thing that I feel like would happen probably inevitably is a high school baseball player calls in and tries pranking me, and you know, that's never fun. But yeah, cool guys. I honestly want to do that right now, just more or less for the testing purposes. If there's anybody that we do have the audio on right now, I think I would have to do an audio to understand where everyone is at. Let me see though. Yes, my son is a junior. What should he be focusing on to play college baseball? So, Nikki, so since your son's a 2027, stick with me, Nikki, so that way we can get all the way through this. Give me some understanding on where his exit velocity is as far as how hard he hits the ball, his arm velo, his 60-yard dash time. That way I can kind of put a little bit more of an emphasis on his physical metrics and where his focus needs to be on there. Also, after you send in that information, maybe in a separate text, because I'm more curious on his physical right now. I am also curious on the recruiting side. I'm just going to put recruit. To better understand what you guys have done so far to get in front of college coaches, if you've emailed any of them. So if you know his exit velocity, his arm velocity, his 60-yard dash time, let me know there. Maybe also what his position is, because that's something that I think would be really valuable to you guys as well. So that way I can understand like what kind of playing profile he has to bring to the table for his team. Yeah, but on the recruiting side, since we're a 2027 grad, we are able to contact these college coaches. We're beyond that August 1st date, so this is an important time to make sure that we're putting in that focus into outreach in some capacity. So yeah, Nikki, if you have any of that information as far as his current metrics, I would love to know where he's at with all of that, because that's going to help me give you contextual advice with everything. So yeah, if you have any of those metrics, any of the data, that's going to help me out, to help you out. I don't like giving you guys vanilla advice at the end of the day. There's a lot of people that say, my son's a junior, what can we do? It's like, well, what have you done? What have you tried? What are you doing now? What's your plan moving forward? I mean, like, there's so much context in the college recruiting process where I don't want to give you guys false information or vanilla information, because I never liked that when I think there was maybe one, maybe two times in my high school journey where we went to this this seminar. It was in a basketball auditorium, and they basically just spoke on the importance of recruiting. And it's like, cool, that's a bunch of information. The reason I got really frustrated after going to one of those events is because, cool, that's a bunch of information. But how do I implement any of that information? That's where it's really, really difficult. And I didn't understand how to implement it because they never told us, right? So those are the areas of frustration that I ultimately want to break free from, and give you guys a lot more information to help you with the college recruiting process. That's probably the most important thing I will say, is valuable to you guys, is making sure that I give you guys good quality information, good quality content, and yeah, guys. Well, one thing, since we don't have too much viewers over on Instagram, what we can do, and I'm curious to see how this is going to work, I'm going to, over on OBS, because I'm testing out new things, just trying to enjoy some stuff, I'm going to create a audio Mac OS audio capture. I think that's it. Let's see what this looks like. Allow desktop audio capture. Yeah, why not? So you guys should be able to hear my desktop audio now. And if that is the case, what I'm going to go ahead and do is log into our system. I'm going to make some dials and see if anyone is interested in talking to me. I'm not saying that anybody will. I am curious to know, if I put my phone number, if anyone would dial me. That would be interesting. But let me check this out real quick though. All right, we will see. And I really just need like a couple brave soldiers to tell me if they can hear the audio, the dial tone, things like that, because that would help me out tremendously. So I'm gonna go ahead, start making some dials. And what I'm gonna do actually is I'm gonna take this one off. And that way we can just have a blank slate. Let me know over on Instagram if you can hear the dial tone. Any specific person, I'm gonna go ahead and start dialing right this second, right now.
Please leave your message for 72495.
We don't leave messages, by the way. We do not do that. But yeah, did anybody hear that? Could you guys hear the dial tone? Anybody that just joined? Daniel, Brian, Gavin, Liam, any of you guys? I'm curious because I want to have you hear it. You could hear it? Okay, let's go. So I want to make some dials. If you guys want me to dial you out, there's a way to do that. But for the time being, we're just going to see who is interested in having a conversation with me. And this might be like the most fun type of content, because it's something that I need to do and I like to do, but also I get to hear your guys' specific situation. All right, we'll move on. All right. Cool. Yeah, if you guys are over listening to this live, you can opt in by downloading like a freebie on my website, MendozABaseballAcademy.com. If you can figure it out, go to the free content section.
Hello?
Tina?
Hello?
Tina?
Can I help you?
Hey, Tina, it's Evan Mendoza with Mendoza Baseball Academy. I was just wondering if you could possibly help me out real quick. Okay. All right, love it. I'm guessing that's not Tina. Let's just call it that. I don't think that's Tina. It didn't sound like a Tina, but who knows? Not me. This is also someone did not give us an accurate phone number. Bing, bop, boom. All right, next up, we got Jay. Let's see if Jay answers. You never know.
The service you're attempting to use has been restricted or is unavailable.
Nice, nice, nice. All right, all right, all right. All right, that was the last person. So we're gonna hit another list because those were. So by the way, guys, if anyone is curious, if you go over to my website, MendozABaseballAcademy.com, you can basically download a freebie. Download the 7 steps on how to reach out to college baseball coaches the right way. That quite literally is the best piece of content I think I've ever created. And yes, I'm doing these lives. You might think that this is valuable. I will tell you a million times over, the content inside that 7 steps on how to reach out to college coaches the right way is the best. What you actually can do, go to any of my posts on IG and comment the number 7 to download that. Also, if you guys are wanting me to like dial you out in particular, the best way to probably do that is just go to my website actually, and that's Mendoza Baseball Academy.com. And when you go to MendozaBaseballAcademy.com, you can go to /7 steps. Or just go to my website and it's going to be like the very first button that you'll see is there's a how to reach out to college coaches the right way course. It's completely for free. So yeah, go ahead and do that if you want me to dial you. So I'm going to go ahead. This is what I'll do. I'll move this over. I'll make it super easy for you guys. All right. If you want, we're just hanging out, guys. Me to call you. Oh, that was bad. Let's move that. Download my free course. There we go. There we go. All right, all right, all right. Cool. So now you guys know exactly how to have me dial you. So from here, I'm just gonna go ahead and dial some people and be on the lookout if you receive a call. All right, Susan.
Your call has been forwarded.
All right, all right. It's crazy how many people like opt into stuff and then just like don't know that they opted in, or they just don't want to opt in, or get confused with what's going on. Like, that happens so much. It's kind of wild, but it's all part of it. People click on stuff all the time, like on like ads and stuff like that. I think it's pretty interesting, but yeah. All right. And one thing that I've noticed in doing these dials, it's interesting to say the least. You get to talk to a lot of people. You get to learn a lot of people's stories. You get to understand like what's holding people back the most. And typically speaking, what's holding people back is like.
Hi, this is Mike Lee. Please leave your name and number.
All right. We don't leave voicemails. Not doing that. Not doing that today. Might do that tomorrow, but probably not going to do it today. Also, if anyone's joining in just right now, if you guys are able to hear like the dialing side.
Hi, if you record your...
We also don't do that. No Google Assist. None of that. None of that. If you guys can hear the dial tone, just let me know. I want to make sure that the audio is all set up correctly. It looks like you should be able to. so you guys don't hear it as loud. You guys might even be able to hear from my microphone, so no need to like do it double. Let me know if you guys can still hear the dial tone. Curious. But yeah, guys, feel free to ask me questions as I'm waiting for other dialers. So that way I can get your guys' questions answered as efficiently as possible. 'Cause that's what I love doing. Got Liam.
Your call.
Alright, we got a grandparent.
Your call has
working.
been forwarded to voicemail.
Cool. If you guys want to dial, go download my free course. It's the free course is how to reach out to college coaches the right way. It's the 7 steps on how to reach out to college coaches the right way. Very, very beneficial. If that's something you guys want. Let me actually, what I can do is, I can put like a photo maybe of the 7 steps to make it easy for you guys to understand.
Your call has been forwarded to
I don't know. That's something that maybe if I put like a picture of what that landing page would look like is that something that you guys would want? Audra?
Hi, you reached Audra Kelly.
No. So many voicemails in the middle of the day. Kind of wild. Alright. We'll put a VSS send. Alright. But yeah, guys, go ahead and put some questions down below in the chat.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
I want to be able to help you guys out.
Trying to reach is not available.
I can't help you guys out if I don't know what's going on with you. So yeah, ask away. Alright. Stop. My son did a baseball factory. Let me see.
Hello, thanks for calling to Stop at the Dart. However, I'm unavailable to take your phone call at the moment.
Alright, let's get, okay, so my son did a baseball factory showcase when he was 11. He's now 14. Should we do another showcase to see where his numbers are, like ex velo, arm strength, and 60? So between 11, I don't even know what metrics to look out for as an 11th grader, right? Again, like if we're looking at metrics for 11th, what grade is that? Is that like like 5th grade? The growth that's going to happen between 5th grade and probably 8th or 9th grade, that's 4 grades, that's 4 years, right? That's as long as high school, right? So we have to think about that with the context of where you're asking, like what was his exit velocity? What was his arm? What was his 60? Does it even matter in the 5th grade, right? No, really. In 9th grade, does it even really truly matter? No, it helps with understanding where your son stacks up right now against other competition, his grade, And I think the best thing that can happen is, like, he already went to a showcase, so he already saw and he already got exposed to better competition. For me, I went to my first ever showcase my 9th grade season, and that's the first time that I got exposed to realize that, like, there were some guys that were this big, and then there were some guys like me, that big, and there were guys hitting home runs, and there were guys hitting like 70 exit velocity, me over here, right? So it gave me that realization I wasn't as good as I thought I was, and that helped me understand the gap of where I needed to go, right? I wanted to get up here, but I was way down here, and that actually like was a good experience for me. I was very happy that I got exposed to that better level of competition, because that ultimately made me work harder to get better, to continue to grow. That growth doesn't happen if we're just kind of just doing the same old.
Please leave your message.
But yeah, we're gonna get back to it. Sixth, 7th grade, yeah. If we're going from 6th or 7th grade to 9th grade, there's going to be a significant jump, as you can imagine, with puberty and things like that happening. But the biggest separator that's going to happen is more of a mental realization that your son needs to work hard, and that realization needs to of course come from your son. Like, your son needs to be the one that's actually realizing, like, hey, I need to get better, right? And that's the good part about showcases. It's a great opportunity for your son to learn.
Your call has been forwarded.
Right? Not necessarily to showcase that he can throw 90 miles an hour as a 7th grader. Like, those things are cool. They're not the most important thing, though, right?
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Also, like, I'm hoping that the dial tone isn't too loud for you guys. If it is, I just need one brave soldier to tell me. Let me know.
Has been forwarded.
Let me know. Also, we're going to only be doing this for probably 5, 10, 15 more minutes. It just really depends. I want to get at least like one conversation in, because it makes me feel alive. We got someone from Memphis. Thank you, Donald. And if you guys are interested, yeah, click the link in my bio, learn a little bit more about my triple play program, mentorship program, me being in your son's corner, ultimately what that program is all about. Typically, I will say with a lot of my students, the student calls happen in the evening, at night. That's when my players seem to be most available. So that's where I do like my coaching calls and things like that with all my students. Making sure that we get the email sent out, making sure that we have that roadmap built out for the physical development. These are all areas that I focus on with all my students inside the triple play program, right? The physical, the mental, and the recruiting. So I'm gonna get to, okay, so my number is 50. I'm gonna make 50 dials. I'm at 22 right now. That should take me maybe another 10 or 15 minutes. And if anybody has any baseball related questions, you can always opt into my 7 steps on how to reach out to college coaches. That's right here to get you that clarity. Especially on the recruiting side, I think that's where a lot of people fall short.
Hi, caller. Are you asking to the phone?
Nope. All right, we're at 23 right now. We're going to 50. And again, if anybody wants me to dial them, go ahead and download my free course. It's the 7 steps on how to reach out to college coaches, so I can get a better understanding where your son's at. I am hungry, by the way, extremely hungry.
Has been forwarded.
I think it's going to be a really unique dynamic when people start to pick up, though. By the way, like usually in the mornings, I was making some dialings before the day started, and there's a lot more people that picked up. But It happens. It's kind of like baseball, honestly. The dialing side of things. There's gonna be times where people pick up. There's gonna be times when people don't, and that's just all obviously part of it. You can't necessarily get tripped out on, someone picking up or someone not picking up or someone saying, "Hey, you got the wrong phone number." Those things happen.
You've reached Trip O'Brien. Please leave me a message and
Nah.
you have reached Jeff Rodriguez.
All right, we're making our way. Number is 50, and then we are getting out of here. We're stopping this live. No more live. Whew. But yeah, these lives are a lot better when everyone's asking questions. I will say in a week, 1 week exactly, I'm going to be doing a lot better of a live. It's going to be more organized, so there's going to be a lot of people joining in, and that's going to be really exciting to give you that guidance. Yeah, that guidance is, you can get it here and there, but that's where things can get confusing in the college recruiting process for a lot of people. So that's definitely an area that I like to focus on with all my students.
The person you called is not available.
Alright, we're going to be making about 20 more dials, and then we're wrapping up. So if anyone has any baseball-related questions, feel free to ask. I am reaching out to people that have downloaded this freebie. So if you've downloaded that freebie, you want me to understand where your son is currently at, go ahead and grab it.
Your call has been...
Maybe lunch break? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Sometimes I like making dials sometimes at like 5, 6, 7 o'clock. Sometimes there's good returns in those hours of the day. I'm also curious if I start doing
Your call has been for...
let's see, what was that? Donald, like in filling coach, hitting coach, it's something of that aspect. What's going on? What does that mean? Okay. When you ever ask to stay on a team as part of the managerial role, like in filling hitting coach, it's something of that aspect. Is that from like your perspective, Donald? I'm curious if you're talking about like from your perspective, or is that from like a player perspective? Because as you can imagine, like if it's a coaching position and if it's something that you enjoy, it's also something that can help support your family. Like that, it's going to be a different conversation than is it the best opportunity for your player. So that's where I think that getting that context is going to be huge, Donald, to kind of help guide you just through that situation. Would be a tricky situation, I will say. I'm happy I'm not in that situation because things like that happen all the time where parents don't even realize that they're putting themselves and also their player in a tough spot because of maybe like the team dynamic and things like that. So always important to kind of just be mindful of that when making decisions that obviously impact your son, if that's the case. If it's more of just a...
Hello?
Tony? Okay, interesting. I'll try that again.
Hello?
Tony? Curious if that was their voicemail. If so, that's terrible. Terribly frustrating. If they call back, they call back. Yeah, sometimes ex-players stay with the team. They do help out. Like, is that from your perspective though? Like, are you the past player that you want to stick around and help out, or is that from like your son's perspective, or is that like you're asking me? Because these are all like to get better context to be able to answer your question. We are on dial number 35. We're gonna get to 50.
Your call has been forwarded to an...
All right.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available.
Yeah, monkey, that's not gonna be good. That's not gonna be good for you. Yeah, sometimes ex-players stay with the team. They do help out. Like, is that from your perspective though? Like, are you the past player that? Also, what's going on? So my live. There we go. Okay, we're back into it. I had to report someone. Always at least one. Just asking me. Oh, okay, so like, you were asking like if I wanted to like stay involved with a past team or like a maybe a university or pro team. Is that what you're asking, Donald? Because like, yes, that does happen every once in a while, and based off of the connections that you have, like you can kind of get your foot in the door to stay coaching. It's something that like I've kind of enjoyed this route of building my own brand and making sure that like I have autonomy in helping my players the way that I feel like they need help. At the professional level, you'd be surprised, but there's so many hoops that you have to jump through, and that's something that I don't think I would enjoy from a coach. I know for a fact I didn't necessarily enjoy it as a player either. So that's just an area that I've decided to build out my academy, and that's why I do what I do. I want to be able to do lives and not get shunned. And these are things that like I don't want to say I experienced in professional baseball, but there were times where I felt like I was being not necessarily judged by doing social media, but
Please leave your message.
it was just like an area I felt like of a restriction. So hopefully that answers your question, Donald. Yeah, I don't like feeling restricted in any way whatsoever.
Your call has...
Right. Yeah. No, it is it's an interesting question, right? Because a lot of players will get into the loop of
Your
coaching,
call has been...
and that's something that obviously there's no way of exactly laying out what that framework or that roadmap would look like. It's more of just like knowing those connections helps you get involved with teams, universities, things like that. Alright, I'm gonna try a different list. Sometimes that's helpful.
Your call has been forwarded to voice...
Come on now. Come on, Sabrina. We got a lot of faith in you. You texting us back. Sabrina?
Yeah.
Hey, Sabrina, it's Evan Mendoza. Just wondering if you could possibly help me out real quick.
Hi, yes, I was actually trying to get to dial you. And I know you were trying to test everything out. I was online right now. So yeah, I was trying to get a hold of you.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, well, it looks like you have a junior in high school. I'll kind of cut to the chase. I mean, how's the recruiting process been for him?
He's doing good. That was one of my questions. We're in a situation right now. He's a junior in college. He's been on varsity since freshman year, so 3 years. He has been playing travel ball. I mean, he's been playing obviously baseball since he was 3.
Okay.
So right now, we were playing summer ball with a showcase team. His son, the coach's son, has already been recruited. He was playing with older kids, so all of them have already maxed out and going to college next year. So he's now looking for a summer team. So we have a couple of summer teams, although they're pretty pricey. I got one Arizona that's called him up that found him on his Instagram. But that's way over our budget. He's in Arizona and we're in California. So it's all the traveling and expenses. He tried out for another team this past weekend. He did make the team for, the 17, 18. But there's also another team that he knows of and his coaches have on him, but that's also a little pricey. We're just kind of in a more of like, do we want more development or more exposure? Because he has gone to showcases all these last couple of summers where they go to all the different colleges and we have attended. He did get some look-ats, but they always said that he was too young at that age, that he still needs to develop and we'll look back, only because he was, a year or 2 years younger than the other kids. He is a catcher, but he's a utility player. So he plays all positions. He even pitches. So right now he did his fall or summer ball or fall ball, I guess we call it, with the high school. So they'll start spring coming up. He has been the majority catcher, the head catcher there, all 3 years. And he has gotten calls before where they want him to fill in with their own teams that are not specifically his, which are fine because he likes to do reps. This is like his thing.
Yeah. No, with so if I'm hearing you correctly, junior year, 3-year letter.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a catcher. He's kind of bouncing around some teams with tryouts, and you're basically looking for the best team for him to gain that exposure. Is that what I'm hearing?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty
Well,
much.
when it comes to obviously the college recruiting process and gaining that exposure, I mean, what have you guys done so far to get that exposure?
Well, he's shooting out his emails. Last summer, he got 3 colleges that were looking at him. Obviously, I told him to, touch base with them again.
How many schools?
Just 3.
3? Okay.
Yeah.
And how many emails have you guys sent out?
I haven't asked. We're trying to do it for him to do it, not for me to do it.
Okay.
Because like I said, if he wants to make this his thing, then he needs to make the effort and willing to do it on his own.
Yeah.
So,
If you had a ballpark, kind of like a range, I mean, have you maybe last time that you asked him, how many would you say that he sent?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure more than 10.
Okay, 10 plus. Okay. Is that like every week, every month, or is that like 10 in total?
Well, I don't really know exactly.
Okay. Is that like direct email outreach, or is that through like maybe a software like an NCSA or something like that?
No, they contacted us. They contacted trying for us to join. And he does the field level. We've got a few coaches coming out of
Okay.
that, but he's not really gone through with that as far as.
Well, yeah, no, I was just kind of getting clarity on how you're reaching out to these schools, and if it's direct email, that's great. Okay,
Email
cool.
and Instagram or whatever. He has X, so a lot of them come and have seen his films, his videos.
Yeah.
He's posting. I just continue. I take video and photos, so whatever I get.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. So, out of those 3 schools, I mean, what was the interest level? Were they interested in offering him? Is that something that you guys got to that stage?
They're just looking at him, saying like he has a strong arm, he should get strong within the next year, some more conditioning. But since then and now, his strength he's getting bigger, builder.
Do you know what his height and weight is?
His height is 5'8", 5'9", he's about 175, 180.
Okay. And do you know any of his arm velo, exit velocity, 60 time?
No, I didn't write it down. I did kind of text him because I wanted to know.
Yeah.
I was going to try to reach out to you while we were on live.
Yeah.
But responded. I have a really bad memory, so he did tell me the other day because one of the coaches was asking.
Well, I guess another way of asking, like, well, what area of his physical game do you think that he needs to improve to gain the attention of more schools?
I don't know. I mean, he does really well. I think more in the arm strength, only because he's a catcher.
Mm-hmm.
He does. In that position, he does great. I mean, they put him where he's needed when there's other catchers or kids that are not filling in the spots. Like the other day, he was playing third base, or he would be outfield. Because he would always play infield, but he gravitated to catching.
Mm-hmm.
But he can do mostly anything.
Mm-hmm.
So,
on his arm strength and building that strength, I mean, is he on any specific like throwing program right now?
throwing program? No. Whatever he does at school, at the high school, and then he works out at the gym. He did have a catching coach a couple years ago, but he had the coach had other obligations.
I gotcha.
So he hasn't had any one-on-one, which is what I was hoping to get and started training for him on a one-on-one basis.
Yeah.
Because they don't really have that at school.
Yeah. Well, yeah. With that kind of like one-on-one attention, making sure that he's doing the right things to build that arm strength, and ultimately so he can decrease his pop time, as a catcher. Also on the aspect of like just gaining that exposure and building out a system so he's able to send out 10 emails in a day. These are areas that I do help out my players out with. I know you were probably on live just earlier, but like, did you get a chance to do a little bit of research on my program or anything in particular?
We've kind of been following you. I've kind of been following you for a while.
Okay. What have you, I guess, causing you to like reach out to get some help now?
I'm sorry.
Like, what have you considering getting some outside help now?
Just because we're in a situation right now, whether we're going to accept this team for next summer, for the summer coming up, asking more what advice at his age, because he'll be a senior and trying to get into either 4-year or junior college would benefit him more as far as developing. In comparison to, I don't know if he still wants to try. I know there's been already tryouts in certain schools or certain, the other teams that have already passed. So I don't know if he still wants to look out to maybe try out for some other teams in our area or, not too far. Like I said, Arizona.
Yeah.
Trying to get, because they need a catcher. But it's 4 weeks, it's, 4 tournaments every month from
Yeah.
starting in June.
No, a lot of travel.
Those are the big ones, like you
with
said,
our
it's
belt.
the WWBA, All
Mhm.
Perfect Game,
Yep.
it's all showcase tournaments. But
Yeah.
it's just way too expensive.
Yeah, no, that team selection side of things, the exposure, the arm strength, like obviously there's a lot on your plate
Oh,
right now.
He just,
Yeah.
hold on. He said his EV is 103,
Okay.
max arm, he's not sure, probably like 75, 60.
His arm strength?
It's 72, and his top time is about 1.95.
1.95?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that pop time decreasing a significant amount if he gets that arm strength up. Being at, you said 72?
Max arm, I don't know, probably like 75 to 60.
75? Okay. So,
That's
yeah,
like-
75. Yeah, if you can.
75, 60 is 7.2.
60 is 7.2. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So if his arm's around 75, if he can get that to the low 80s, that pop time should be in the mid 1/8s, and that's going to definitely help him get more traction from colleges, because that could be the biggest bottleneck for him right now is, you know, that lack of that arm strength.
Yeah.
Not having that arm program, that throwing program, and then not also having the arm care side of things. Obviously, the strength is important, just as important as taking care of our arms. So, yeah, I mean, that is an area that, I help out with my students, giving them that program and making sure that they become their own best coach in building out their throwing program. Really the next step, because I know you're kind of texting him, getting some information from him, and kind of playing telephone with me a little bit, but the next step would be to hop on like a Zoom call, if that's something that you guys are interested in. Is that something that you guys would be against?
Yeah, I can communicate with my son, see what he wants to do. We were talking about some teams last night, so I just don't know what his decision's going to be.
Yeah.
And for us, financially as parents, that's what it is, financial.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
I'd say the
like,
biggest thing with the team decision in the summertime is, like, yes, you can be on a team and you can, travel around from city to city and at these WWBAs and the Perfect Game and the PBRs. If we're expecting college coaches just to appear out of thin air without actually communicating with them previously, that's where there's really that lack of that exposure system in the recruiting side, right? We want to be able to email these college coaches consistently on a system. So that way we can maximize the summer travel circuit. That's what it comes down to, right? Like, if you just go and play the games just like any other summer season, it's probably going to be just as many colleges looking at, your son. So building out that system is definitely an area that, again, like I said, we can help out with. What I'll do, just to make it simple, is I'll text over a link to my calendar, and then from there, all you guys have to do is, select a good date and time, and we'll go from there.
Okay, that's fine.
Awesome, cool. Well, Sabrina, it's been a pleasure. Yeah, I appreciate you kind of calling in. Hopefully this is, valuable content to other people as well, and happy you enjoyed the live.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Awesome. So that was awesome. I'm curious if there's anybody inside the live right now. If you guys thought that was valuable, we kind of just went through an entire, situation from a mom's perspective, and hopefully it wasn't too laggy. Anderson, I see that you made that comment just now, or maybe a couple minutes ago. But yeah, guys, this has been awesome so far. 2 low frames per second. Viewers may experience a low quality stream. I think I need to have some stuff going on, and yeah, as far as the stream metrics, there's the frame rate going down. Let's see, max resolution, manage on second device. Yeah, there's some stuff that I still need to iron out as far as to make sure that it's not too laggy, but I'm gonna head out, guys. This has been super fun. I'm gonna be doing a lot more of these lives, and for you guys to be able to get that understanding of, not only where you're currently at, where you're trying to go, but I'm gonna do some player breakdowns, and yeah, and help you guys just get that clarity on the college recruiting process. So with that, I'm gonna take off, and I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. And yeah, and help you guys just get that clarity on the college recruiting process. So with that, I'm gonna take off, and